Hello, my name is Brendan, and my character's name is Dorin Duskmourn. He is a dwarf, so he's a cleric of the Twilight Order. When you look at Dorin, he is a little bit on the big side for a dwarf, so he's around 5 foot tall, but he's not big and stocky like you imagine other mountain dwarves. He is rather more lean and wiry, but you can see this kind of strength underneath that as well. The first thing you notice about Dorin is his shock of red-brown hair, and he also has a big bushy red beard kind of down to his navel. When Dorin looks at you, he has a very kind of smouldering intensity. He wears armor, as befitting his station as a Dusk Knight. He is drawn to protect others.
Hello, I'm Scott. My character is Avery Dumas. He is, well, he's a bit of a wheeler dealer, a bit of a scoundrel, because actually he's to a degree undead. We were lying there in our coffin, and some maniac called Godfried ripped me out from the ground. A bit of a mad night for me, to be honest. One of many to follow. Dumas, he's about 6 foot tall, blonde as you can expect, a short beard. He wears an eye patch over his eye, concealing this sort of misty, undeathly seeing orifice.
Hello, my name is Morris. That's all you're getting. I am Magister and Professor Gottfried Bauch Wilhelm Friedrich Schopenhauer. My character is a man probably in his 60s, a thin, gaunt body, rather lost in elaborate robes of some obscure office. His very serious expression fending off all oncomers on his face. I am one of the foremost scholars of Brenier, a leading authority in the arcane, metaphysics, theology, philology, etc., etc. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. I am going to have a cup of coffee.
Hello, I'm Grace Kelly Miller and I'm playing Georgina Flock, also known as George or Georgie by her friends. And she's a broad, muscular, strong woman in her early 30s. She's 5'11", though appears 6 foot with her dirty blonde and grey hair piled up in plaits on top of her head. She wears a jumbled mix of humble country clothing with moments of knitwear, all topped off with a very fine cream doublet. Overall, she has the look of someone who has been on quite the bender or rager, as she's a barbarian. Yet, despite this rough around the edges look, her grey eyes seem to sparkle with a zest for life.
Hello, my name is Guy and I'm going to be the Dungeon Master for this game. We're going to be playing 5th edition set in my homebrew world of Braxia. Now, if you want to learn more about Braxia, you can head on over to our patreon.com/greatgamemaster where you will find the monthly releases of the world setting for you to use in your own games. Many of our players have got some cool things going on in their world. Support them by finding that information in the links down below. And remember, if you enjoy this actual play, hit that like button or let us know in the comments down below. Finally, before we get into it, every Monday we release videos on how to GM. Every Friday these actual plays will be coming through, and then occasionally at your request I will do review videos of how I think the sessions went, what I did right, what I did wrong, and how I am trying to fix things if I need to. Let us know in the comments down below if you want to see more of that as well. And so, I now invite you to join me and my wonderful players in the Duskmourn Chronicles.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I was going to say evening, morning, but it depends when you're watching it. You watch whenever you like. If you haven't watched last week's episode, I suggest you do, because it's going to make way more sense than if you just start watching with today. However, if you just start watching with today, then that's what you start with. So, good for you. Right. I was going somewhere and then I got lost.
Last two.
Yeah. Where are we? Exactly. Where are we?
Wow.
Correct. Well, as a matter of fact, we are 20 years, 15? 20.
Oh, 20.
That's right.
Oh,
Yes,
I wrote
yeah.
that wrong already.
20 years now in the past from last week's episode. And our intrepid heroes find themselves being 20 years younger, much, much less experienced, and scattered across the great city of Howden Lee, which you can see down below. Howden Lee, I'm going to give you a very brief little tour of Howden Lee before we jump into it. You have the outer tier, known as a Rankin tier. This is where all of the peasants live basically. Very full of people, full of life. There's some blacksmiths, there's lots of taverns, that sort of thing. Then you have Cleric's Tier. Cleric's Tier is all the way around the main citadel itself. That is where the best taverns are. That is where the rich and nobles live. Your goldsmiths, your jewelry people. You know, them. Jewelers?
Jewelers, mate.
Jewelers! You know when you have words...
I'm supposed to be the one having the senior moments here, mate.
Oh, no,
So stop stepping on my brand, man.
Yes, so all the posh people live there, and then you have the actual Ulian's Tier, which is named after King Ulian V, who was the person who built Hardenley for about the 7th time, and he placed it there. If you have the main citadel there of Hardenley, you've got the High Cathedral dedicated to Great Brax, the god of justice and revenge. And then scattered about the place, you've got all the other temples and things. You also have the Bay of Hardenley, which has got a lovely dock area. It's not a lovely dock area, it's a dock area. And then outside of the city, you've got the watchtower of the lighthouse down here, which is a protected area, you're not allowed to go there. And then you have the Great Swamp, which is also the necropolis of Hardenley. And it's frequented by romantics and those not wanting to be seen or disturbed. It also happens to be a bit of a swamp, so don't stray from the paths. To the west, way to the west, and I don't think you can actually see it on the map, so I'm going to move the map up a little bit. Right in the top of the screen there, you can see we've got a little village. This is effectively outside of Hardenley. Thank you very much. Our hand model
assistant,
yeah,
Brendan.
Absolutely. Well, your words, not mine.
Sadly, soon, mate. You're gorgeous.
It's just a very small town of informal traders and the like, if you don't want to go into Hardenley proper. Hardenley is patrolled by City Watch. They are corrupt, slow to act, and prefer to arrive at the scene of the crime after the crime has been committed when it is safe to do so. That is the general idea. The High King lives in the Citadel, in Ulian's Tier. You cannot get into Ulian's Tier, by the way, by any of the access. Well, there's only one access in, but you cannot get in through this access point without a pass. It's simply not on. Other than that, some other interesting points. Down here we have Twalis University. Thank God I got that right. Lots of thoughts on what people are like from Twalis University. Anyway, so Twalis University is based here. And then just a little bit down we have the Order of Twilight. They are based here. Anything else we will fill in as we need. And so we descend upon this thriving city. It is a cosmopolitan city. Elves, dwarves, humans, goblins, all mingle together in happy commerce, all desperately trying to cut each other's throats and get the best deal. Where do we find Gottfried?
Well, of course, he's got to be in the university. He's giving lectures and so on, you know, and presiding over the departments. Probably lost in a book of some kind or another if he's not giving out to students for being there. For the seminar, you know? That kind of shit.
To put not too fine a point on it. To put not too fine a point on it.
Being a pompous git,
Well,
generally.
whilst you are dozing in your chair, supposedly reading,
That's more likely.
yes, one of the young pages comes and knocks frantically on your office door.
Oh, yeah. What? Where is the summon?
Excuse me, sir. Arch-Chancellor summons you.
Oh.
The Arch-Chancellor.
Really? I don't want to tuck my teeth. Alright, get myself up on my chair and gather my robes around me.
22 staircases later, you arrive.
Nice. Sorry, hang on. I need a saving throw or 9 saving throws against heart attacks. Alright, fair enough.
It takes you a while to cross the corridors and eventually arrive at the Arch-Chancellor's offices. Arch-Chancellor Vion Cruz is quite a good academic, a little bit too, perhaps, loose with facts, a little bit more flamboyant with delivery. Means he got all the grants.
So I hate this man with a passion.
Apparently so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So he is sitting in his great big chair, which is carved with lions and all manner of wild and wonderful beasts. And as you walk in, he gives you a very broad smile.
Oh shit.
I'm in trouble now. Chancellor, you wish to see me?
Professor, I understand that you are incredibly busy.
Of course.
And you know this university values your contributions.
Oh shit.
Yeah?
Many in the circles of academia hold your name above all others when it comes to diligence in scholastic pursuits.
As they should.
And so it would be remiss of the university if we were to not recognize your brilliance.
Oh, so good. I thought I was being fired. Yeah.
No, you're not being fired.
He said,
You are, however, being sent to the coronation of the prince as representative of the university. Yes.
Great honor. Thank you, Chancellor.
Absolutely. We'd only send the most worthy of our members.
So
Who else could spend 8 hours doing nothing day to day and not miss any work at all?
The point is well taken, Chancellor.
Good. Beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing. It's slip of the tongue, you know.
Ah, good. Yes, well, the coronation is taking place tomorrow, so you'll have to take this pass, and he slides over a very formal envelope. It is expecting 2 members of faculty, but unfortunately you're the only one that no one would miss if they're not here. So you'll have to find someone else to go with you.
Very good, Chancellor.
Yes, I'm sure you'll do all the talking for both of you. Always do.
Oh, don't cast fireball, Gottfried. Don't cast fireball. Remember what happened the last time? Very good. Very good, sir. Yeah, very good.
Excellent. And if one day you could finish writing that ludicrous paper on that book, what is it, the paper
The
mache?
Crepuscularium, Chancellor. If you want to be a serious academic, you really must understand this. But of course, you're too busy with the administration. Is that not correct?
I
to be a
prefer
real scholar.
to think of a serious scholar as someone writing papers on things that actually exist, rather than on the fantasies and
your
delusions
ignorance
of
is
the
better only my eyes.
It is time for you to leave, Professor.
Chancellor.
Good to see you, you piece of shit.
Have you die quickly.
Off I go.
And that is the professor's afternoon.
Cool. he needs to take all his blood pressure drugs in one go. He's not going to make it to the evening.
Right, I'm just making a note here. Kill Gottfried
later.
Poison him later.
I thought that being fired is better than
That's right. Well, yes. And so, whilst in the university that is happening elsewhere in the city, somewhere else in the city, I'm sure, we have our Dusk Knight.
Yes.
And what is our Dusk Knight doing?
So Dorin Duskholm is most likely in the Twilight Sanctuary.
Yes.
I imagine that he is in the Hall of Reflection. This is a meditation area which is softly lit, candles in sconces, creating this very pleasant orangey light. And he is on his knees in a kind of religious pose, and he is whispering softly into the darkness, as is his wont to do. He's muttering a little prayer to Halvoth. Yeah, his eyes are closed.
There are 3 very loud bangs on the door that echo around the chamber with a gothic finality.
The first bang, Doran opens his eyes, The second bang, he sighs with anger a little bit. And the third bang, he jumps up to his feet and he walks to the door and flings it open. "What is the meaning of this?" he says to the person standing by the door.
The Dusk Warden, the head of your order, gives you a long stare.
Dusk Warden, apologies, I didn't realize that was you. I was deep in meditation and I was not sleeping.
I am the one who apologizes to you for interrupting whatever it was that you were doing. I would not do so if there was not a matter of supreme urgency.
Urgency. At the sound of the word urgency, Doran's ears prick up and he says, "Yes, Dusk Warden, how may I be of service?"
Your duty is to protect the interests of the order.
It is.
He actually then ushers himself into the chamber of reflection and then closes the door so that no one else might hear. You are one of our most dedicated, and we recognize this, of course. There is a little matter that the Twilight Seekers are not capable of handling at this moment in time. For if I were to get that secretive bunch involved, things could go wrong very quickly.
Dusk Warden, if you don't want to involve the Seekers, it must be something of great importance or impending doom of some description.
Let us hope that it is not that far. More that it is chance rather than anything else, and that I am simply overreacting. Tomorrow, as you know, the king is declaring his heir. Everyone expects it to be the young Prince Alexander.
I've heard.
There is no doubt in anyone's mind that he should succeed over his brother. The university has elected to send one of their professors.
The university. Dusk Warden, why do we put up with these fools? These writers of words?
Yes, temperance and tolerance at times. The problem is not that the university is going. The problem is whom the university has selected to go. One of the great critics.
Would I have heard of this gentleman?
Most likely.
That Gottlieb idiot, is it?
No, it's Gottfried.
Gottfried,
says the water bearer who's adding some water to the drop of the pool of reflection. Nothing has been proven against him. It is unfortunate that he is the one that the university has chosen to send, because I hope it is not some kind of posturing. I would ask that you accompany someone, anyone, it doesn't matter whom, to this coronation in an unofficial capacity. That way we can still send an official representative, and you will be there free to observe and make sure that there is none of this potential interference that could come.
Understood. And what authority do I have there, Dusk Warden, if I see something
You wouldn't have any authority there. The king's announcement is his own, and we cannot interfere on that. We don't have that political clout, sadly. He looks a bit whimsical, wishing he did have that kind of power. However, you are there to observe. If you see that old gas bag trying to inveigle his way into the good graces of the king or even the young prince, this is something that should be stopped. But not at the event.
Understood. Understood, Dusk Warden. Understood.
Good. There is an official invitation waiting for you at the front desk, and I have put a small purse together for you as well. This should allow you to gain access and also to purchase any necessary garments you might feel appropriate.
Understood, Dusk Warden. You can leave it with me. I shall check back in after the event with what I've found.
Excellent, good. You may carry on with your reflections. He leaves you in quiet. What is the bard doing?
Well, Avery is spending a rather pleasant evening rigging up his apartment for his next spirit reading. And the large central table in the middle of the room, he's rigged up a set of wires, and he's just testing if the window bangs open dramatically just to the right pitch, if the table can maybe elevate a couple inches and shake violently, just to make sure the next grieving widow is properly enthused. Jesus.
I like it. I like it. There is a knock at your door.
Perhaps our next paying customer, bereft soul. And I go to the door.
There is indeed a widow covered in a shroud, the cry marks down her cheeks evident. The shaking, quivery hand bedecked in solid gold rings that glint with the shine of rubies, sapphires, heavy gold bangles.
My hand reaches out to kiss her dramatically across the rings.
Oh, sir, I have come to you in my time of need, and I have heard you have the ability to speak with the spirits.
Of course, that is what I do by profession and for personal enjoyment. Come on through.
She looks a little bit concerned, and there's a little bit of resistance as you pull her in through the front door. But after a moment, she acquiesces and sort of drifts dramatically down to the chair. Of course, you'll know why I've come.
Oh, of course. Let me just... And I accidentally trip on one of the cables and the window bangs open. Whoa! Already we're getting something strong here. How passionate are these emotions you have for the deceased?
I want you to give me an insight check.
Ooh, 21.
I was so very deeply in love with with him. It is tearing my heart out that he is no longer here with me. I am so tragically sad.
Oh, and where was he buried?
The mysterious death around him and his disappearance, no one knows, and I've come here to find out if anyone could find out if they knew where he was, because that would be a great relief to my heart.
Yeah, one of those kind of services, isn't it? I mean, of course, madam, of course. Let me just assemble the gear here. Do go on. What is it that you were hoping to ask, or you were hoping to find? The spirit?
If you could communicate with him and find out if he knows anything about how he died, that would be really good.
I'm definitely feeling something. Daggers in the dark. A vengeful soul. Tortured, I'd say. Tortured. Is that ringing any bells?
How am I doing?
She looks very uncomfortable. Really? That you can see the daggers?
Oh, yes.
Can you see the handle of the daggers?
Not only the handle, but the frail, elderly hand that grasps it. Sort of similar to... And I sort of gesture at her hand.
In shock, she looks down at her hands. What is the crest on the handle of the dagger?
It looks sort of like perhaps an owl with spirally eyes.
She immediately kind of lightens up a little bit. Oh, that's so interesting. Is that all you can see? Are you sure it's just an owl with spirally eyes on the handle of the daggers?
Yeah. It's more of the emotion of the feeling. I get the emotion of an owl with spirally eyes specifically.
Okay, whatever. So do you know where he is? Where's the body?
Yes, your estate, is it quite a large plot of land?
No, we live in the Cleric's Tier. It's nice. It's big. It's
Yeah.
big enough.
The garden, any sort of quiet...
Are you thinking in the garden? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, perhaps underneath a sundial?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought so, yeah. And particularly thick concrete, I suggest, for the sundial when it's laid out. Huh?
You've been very helpful. So very helpful. You sure that any other psychic would see the same thing?
Oh no, I guarantee absolute discretion, and I will clear the void of all thoughts except for those that you wish those in my profession to see, of course. Although I do charge extra for that service.
I see. That's fine. So, you can talk to Brian?
If you so choose, I could parley with Brian. Yes.
Speak to him. See what he says.
Brian, I've got someone on the other end here. Have you anything... Oh, Brian, I'm not sure I can say that. Okay, no, he did mention that he loves you dearly. And he wants you to move on and find a young, handsome lover and impart him all of the monetary value of your coin purse.
He said that.
Yeah, something like that.
Huh.
Again, it's all the emotions. It's
Can he see who put the daggers in him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some frail old lady or something. With shrouds and all that jazz.
That sounds very much like me.
Oh, no. Someone a lot frailer looking.
Okay. Do you accept gemstones?
Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. I have them in my bag. You must just stand around. I do not like to show my wealth.
Of course. And I slightly kick the standing mirror so I can see what she's doing.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Yeah. And that I can do. The 4s on this table. That is a 9 there.
Okay. On a 9, you kick the mirror, and as the mirror swings and then continues to swing, you see her pulling a dagger from her bag that has an owl with spiral eyes on it.
Oh, she's not coming at me with it, is she?
Well, the mirror shifted away after seeing the dagger with the owl.
I'm reaching for my dagger under the table as well, just in case.
Okay. And so, as there is a catfight that's about to break out with the daggers, because how could this clairvoyant know so much? Must end now. You hear something above you as you are walking down the streets. Where are you going?
Well, I've been in Howdenley for probably about a week, just like getting the feel of the land, having a few drinks, having a bit of fun, And but I finally tracked down that I need to go to the Dusklight Sanctuary. I've been given directions. I'm on my way.
All right. You head up the broad main street into Cleric's Tier, which is much finer than where you have been.
Oh yeah, it's posh, fancy lot here. Glad I got this doublet.
Yes, the doublet. And you arrive at what looks like the Duskmourn's temple. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, where I got told Dusklight Sanctuary, and then but I got sent directions, and this looks like a big posh poncy building, so probably right place.
Right. And you head up the steps through the large double doors?
Yeah, looking for somebody.
Yes, as you open the double doors, the room in front of you, it's a fairly well-appointed room, lots of very impressive columns, quite low light inside, not as bright as it could possibly be.
Can't afford candles.
Well, this young man steps up and wearing fairly plain dark robes. Can I help you?
Yes, you certainly can. I am looking for Doran Duskmourn. Is he here?
You are looking for a Dusk Knight.
Yeah, I believe that's what he is. He's called Doran. Doran. It's a bit boring sometimes. We call at him because it's funny. He's nice.
You are a personal friend of the Dusk Knight, are you?
I mean, I haven't seen him for like 15 years, but we grew up together, so I'd say we are friends.
I see. Could I ask what your business is with the Dusk Knight?
Oh, I've got a very important letter to bring. I've been tasked with a very important thing to do, so I think you should go find him, toot sweet.
You're,
Fantastic.
Yes. I was going to ask more along the lines of, are you his wife?
No, I ain't nobody's wife.
I'm not.
He's got a wife, has he?
No. He should not have a wife.
Oh, he should not have a wife. Oh, really? Not allowed one? Do you have a wife?
That is a very personal question, madam. Now, if you have business with the Dusk Warden, he is currently in reflection and prayer.
Right.
You can't interrupt him. If you leave your little note with me, I'll make sure that he gets it.
I need to see it go into his hands. Now, I understand it's probably very important what you're doing, but he has not seen me in 15 years, so I think, she kind of like tries to give him a little nudge of friendliness, like, I think, we can sort something out, can't we? We go way back now.
Yes. I think you misinterpret. Unless you are a member of the Twilight Order, you will have to wait for him to finish his reflection, and that could take 48 hours.
A whole 3 days, that's a long time. How do I become one of these members then?
You want to join the Twilight Order?
Well, if it'll speed things up, yeah.
With the greatest respect.
Thank you.
There is a certain amount of control.
Oh, I've got control, and she pulls her flail out. Just see what I'm like with this.
Yes, I understand that.
And she just smashes the nearest balls. See? Right on target.
A relic from the Holy God.
4,000 years old.
It's fucking priceless.
Whilst I collect the ashes of the second Dusk Warden, in our chapter's history, I would strongly advise that you leave me the address to wherever it is that you have crawled from, and I will make sure that the Dusk Knight is informed that someone of your caliber was here.
And I thought we were friends.
Oh, that was never.
Doran! She starts shouting his name as loud and as annoyingly as she can. Doran! Doran, it's George! I've come to see you!
Holy Dusk Father. Like your man.
Doran!
No. What?
Doran! Doran!
As this Doran is deep in reflection, and he's dreaming of the twilight touching the land, and the Dusk Father is smiling on him. And Doran! Carries on. He's brought back to the reverie a little bit, but this is too much to ignore. So he stands up and he walks to the door. He throws it open. He storms across the Garden of Tranquility. He kicks through the portal of silence.
The corridor quiet to the door of shush.
The library of hushed whispers.
Oh!
And he pushes open the door. What is the meaning of Georgie?
Doran! She
Georgie!
runs up to him and gives him the biggest bear hug.
And I
I do take 10 points of damage.
I'm a wee lad. I'm a 5 foot tall dwarf, so I'm right in your embrace.
Yes.
Yes.
Face squished up.
And I'm gonna need to breathe.
Oh. See? Wasn't that hard, was it?
I'm so sorry for the interruption, sir.
Yeah, Doran takes a look around and realizes it's quite undecorous. Twilight Acolyte, thank you for your time. I will take it from here. Oh, please carry on with sweeping up the ashes of the second Duskwarden. And
Don't forget the ash that's on her face.
and the ashes on her face. Yes, and I shall look after this visitor to our humble and quiet sanctuary. I grab Georgie's hand, and I pull you along and into a kind of separate little area. And Georgie, what are you doing
As she's
here?
being dragged, she's like, so on that.
Georgie, what are you doing here?
Well, come to find you in
Here I am.
I've got a letter for you and everything.
A letter?
Your parents sent me, yeah. I mean, it was about 6 months ago, but I had never left the village before. Well, or the town. But I didn't know the world was so fun. Like, there's so much going on here.
The world is... Doran's eyes take a little bit... The world is interesting, Georgie. I'm
Oh, it bloody is.
very happy you made it here safely. And I mean, wow, were you travelling by yourself?
Of course. All by myself. Very proud of myself. I mean, I was a bit scared at first, but you know, now I've got it wide. Like, should we go to a tavern or something? I found a great one down the road.
A tavern? I mean, okay, let me just quickly square up things with the acolytes.
Okay.
And I'm happy to go for a drink and take you out of this twilight calm
I mean,
sanctuary.
yeah, it is. I mean,
You are a
it's
force of nature,
dark.
Georgie. Let's
Yeah.
let's go for a treat. Quietly.
All right. You survived the encounter with She was adamant that if you could detect that she had murdered her husband, then others possibly could as well. But if she got rid of all of the psychics in the city, then that would solve her problem.
A logical deduction.
Yeah, logical deduction. Yes. Thankfully, unlike her husband, who was also an octogenarian and frail, you are not. And so her feeble thrust was quite deft. The question is, does she end up dead, or do you simply...
Oh, no, not another dead body in the apartment. My landlord would not appreciate
You
that.
are not getting your deposit back if I find it as a corpse.
So you shush her out.
Yes.
All right. And for your troubles, you get 16 gold pieces. In dropped jewellery that sort of sprayed off of her. Manhandled her around.
Perhaps I pick one from one of her fingers.
Yes, for sure, absolutely. Gottfried, where is your very humble little cottage / den / private library collection? The university has steadily decreased your salary due to budget cuts, unfortunately, and the fact that you have tenure, so they cannot actually get rid of you. They're hoping you to starve to death, I think, is the current plan. So you can choose it any way you like, except in Ulian's. If you are in Clerics, it will be probably quite a rundown establishment. So you can choose whatever you like.
All right. Let's say somewhere in the corner, and let's imagine that it's next to several antiquated bookshops.
Here?
Red pen.
Yes. Here, this one?
No, right there in the corner.
This one. Oh, the little L-shaped one.
Yeah.
Okay, later.
That's home.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokes. So next to your home, there's a tavern there. There's a tavern there. So of the two taverns that you decide to go and drink at by pure circumstance is probably this one here, which would require you to have walked quite a way, but
Yeah. Don't want to go anywhere in the Ponzi Clerics tier.
you probably couldn't afford it, madam. Whereas down here, every coin's welcome, and it will cost you 3 silver for the night, including a hot meal, and 5 silver if you don't want the stabbing. So yes, the two of you have made your way to the tavern. Gottfried, once you have finished your little chat with Arch-Chancellor Cruz, where are you heading?
I will go home. Tired. I was just shouting.
And you get home, and there's more shouting.
Yes.
As this demented old woman is turfed out into the street.
Again with this. Always with this business.
just be grateful this time I wasn't asked to be a resurrectionist, alright?
No one saw your face. Your real face.
Oh, no.
Sure. So this is okay. Alright. I have had a very hot day. I'm going to go to the tavern, have a nice dinner. Hopefully everyone Hilda will serve me. Anyway, and I don't want to hear any other stories, of your work. Is about it.
It was a particularly good one, but...
By the way, I need someone to come with me to something terribly boring tomorrow. Are you free?
What is it? I've got plans,
Nonsense with a coronation or something. This business with the king and the sons and all this hereditary bullshit.
Yeah.
So we go. You look after me and make sure. I don't like these things. The house is always so cold. So you can bring a.
When you say look after you, you mean like what? Make sure you make it up the stairs without running out of breath, or?
Don't be a cheeky prick. Now look. You're going to bring my favorite coat and
or a pair of slippers.
Maybe a little flask of tea would be nice. And then we I guess what as quickly as possible and get the fuck home.
Yeah. But the drinks were on you that day.
There's no surprises there.
Yeah. I mean, well, you'll have to deduct them from some of the scratchings that were made on the walls today. But don't worry about it.
It is an old building. You have to be very careful with this,
Yeah, well, when some mad bent comes at me with a knife, all right? What do you expect?
I don't want to know. Let's go. I'm very tired. Fucking Chancellor is up my balls again. All right. So we go, yeah?
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, not real life, apparently. So the two of you make your way down to the Lax Dog and happen to find a very loud pairing as well. And as you walk in, there is a nervous giggle from the bar, and then you see her first. There is a barmaid in her mid-70s who thinks that she's only in her 30s, and so thinks that short skirts are the rage and cleavage is something that she should show, although people don't like looking at her navel. But nonetheless, she is the one giggling, and she disappears into the kitchen the moment that Godfrey walks in.
Odela, my little sheepy, where are you? Sometimes I think that woman is hiding from me.
I think you need to give her a bit of a rest tonight.
Probably I both need a rest. So I want to find a place to sit as quickly as possible.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
You know my niece.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do find a table, and by chance you happen to see Professor Gottfried walking in with this odd-looking human being with an eye patch. Georgie.
Yeah.
Don't look now, okay? You see this geezer, this guy, gentleman, over my shoulder. He is the biggest, most loud-mouthed, obnoxious, wizardy type in the whole bloody city.
Oh, no.
When we were growing up, it was like that. It was like the village mayor. Remember the village mayor?
Yeah.
He was always so up himself, wasn't he?
Oh my God,
walking around like he owned the place.
I mean, he kind of did, because he did have a lot of the land that he was in charge of.
Okay.
You know, he was still right, no.
Yeah. So this guy here, apparently, he's going to some big coronation tomorrow. I shouldn't really be telling this. You were told it, friend, so you know.
Yeah, no, it could be the gods.
So, how would you like to come with me tomorrow to Urian's Tier and go see the king?
Hey.
Yeah. Please.
He is a bloody king!
In Doran's mind, he's like, this is going to be a great distraction because she's going to make all the noise and he's going to be very invisible behind next to her. So yeah.
I mean,
you're already dressed.
I'm already dressed the part. I mean, the rest doesn't quite go, but this is such a job, like, isn't it? Like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's so exciting. Okay. I never thought I would do something like make a king.
Well, we have to do it. We're going to do it, but we're going to be a little bit incognito. Can you do that? Can you be incognito with me a little bit?
What does incognito mean?
Incognito means we've got to blend in with the hoi polloi, which means, look at this, and he takes out a little ching 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 thing of coins. We've got to do a bit of shopping.
I think this sounds like an excellent idea. God, you really have come up in the world, haven't you?
Yeah.
You already got that money always.
Not always, no. This is a special job because, as you know, I work in the Twilight Order. I'm a Dusk Knight, and maybe as we were walking through the town, people might have been moving around a little bit. The Dusk Knight, the cloak might have been a little bit.
Oh, I thought it was because my flail was getting in the way.
Well, that as well. It's a very impressive flail.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Where did you get it? Can you use it?
Oh, I can use it. Yeah, I got it off the. Well, my teacher, really, the person who taught me everything I know, Hayley, who moved into my house after, well, you know what happened. And this was hers when they wanted me to go out and, see the world. She gave it as the Duster of Doom.
The Duster of Doom.
Yeah, it's got like these ram horns here, like it's so good, isn't it? Like really, gets into, really smashes people's faces up. Yeah.
Doran is just looking at you, Georgie, and he's like, "It's really good to see you, George. It's been too long."
Well, whose fault's that?
Doran looks down at his drink, and I know.
Probably should give you this letter from your parents. So, that's yours. Look after it. Do what you will.
Doran will look at the letter and stare at it for a good while. Yeah, quietly, silently. And he's going to take out from under his breastplate a sheaf of letters, which are wrapped together, and he's going to put this letter next to the other ones as he put it back into his armour. And thanks, Georgie.
Yeah, I'm sure the boob sweat will dry out. Could she please?
You always know how to make me laugh, Georgie. Drinks on me. And I'm going to go to the bar and get a drink.
Yeah, please do.
All right. A night of drinking and festivities commences, and then shopping thereafter.
Yep.
Yes, you've got 20 gold pieces, so you can deck yourselves out as however pretty you might want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the following morning, the town is awash with the declaration of a new heir. Although the current king himself is not particularly aged, he's only in his 50s. He's seen as a very strong and powerful king. His son is very, very young at this point in time, 9-10 years old. And you are slowly ushered into the grand grounds of Ulian's Tier. Your invitations are scrutinized by guards who really did not want to be here this morning, and so there's not too much actual close scrutiny as to what has been written. You are shunted in with several thousand others to witness this most auspicious of occasions. And so you gather outside of Brax's Cathedral, a magnificent structure that is only dwarfed by the actual citadel itself. And in a park directly in front of it, there is a large stadium that has been erected, and you can see various members of the noble household being gathered. The young prince is pacing up and down, wearing the gaudy yellow and blue of the city as a tunic. There's no sign of the king or the queen yet. They have as yet to arrive. This has been about an hour's worth of small talk and chit-chat amongst what appears to be the very least liked members of their organizations who've been selected to attend this event.
And their lodgers.
And their lodgers and anybody else that they could bring along. But someone had to be brought along because you couldn't appear to be on your own. So there are lots of gardeners sharing tips with each other. various people. They're obviously mainly gnomes have been hired principally to offer food and drinks to folk, and they sort of scuttle around. And are you doing anything specifically?
Well, describing it as you have just done, Guy, would Doran realise that maybe he was selected also as the least important member, or does he get the idea that it was rather more specific skills?
Yeah, you think it's the Seekers have probably sent their least favourite.
Okay.
Because the Seekers are making their existence known. By default, they don't do that. But you have seen both of them already, and they're both not particularly nice members of that group. Right. So yeah, and there was no reason for them to send more.
I mean, Doran is of course like pointing out to Georgie. Oh, look over there. There's the Chancellor of this, the guild master of this guild, the famous person over
The
there.
guild master's assistant of this guild, the assistant's assistant, assistant of that guild, that's the apprentice carpenters. Yeah.
But at all times he's staying relatively close to Professor Gottfried. As you can see him, he don't want to engage him in conversation. But you know, the press of the people around means that he is invariably being drawn closer and closer to this lovely little man, and he's wondering at what point in time they're going to lock eyes, and maybe that's what happens. Maybe they lock eyes across the room, and there's that moment, the slow-mo moment. Doran's like, his eyes kind of squint a little bit towards Professor Gottlieb.
So anything at all was as famous as so holy and mighty. I drive me out of my mind.
Yes, and you've probably crossed paths once or twice before because you've tried to use the library quite a few times. And so it is that as you've seen each other, you might be about to begin a conversation or avoiding it, when there is the blast and fanfare of the brass trumpets heralding the arrival of the king. There is a large canopy of yellow and blue that is slowly makes its way down from the citadel, and underneath it are the king and the queen. And
Woo!
And also,
yes, well, there's a very loud voice cheering them on, and
Hey, go on, you kingliness.
Doran is like sniggering a little bit, you know, trying to keep it in. He's probably very serious, but he's appreciating this outburst.
Very quietly poking Gottfried in the back. Who are they again? The king and queen, what are their names?
I think
Oh, easy.
That's your get out of jail free card.
what do I know, man?
they light up onto the stage, and then a herald steps forward and for the next 7 minutes extols the lineage of the great king, so that everybody knows who came from where and who begat whom to get to this point in time. And it's at that point, specifically, that somebody gets a 25-word message.
No.
To whom did Gottfried send that message? And what is the message that arrives in their head?
Well, given that, as I've mentioned, his alignment is arrogant twat, he will of course send it to himself.
Right.
I know that I should understand it. And the 25-word message is as follows. Post-cataclysm, one word as we have agreed. Belcor Song, open brackets, Lich, close brackets, will try open portal to Shadowfell. It cost me a great deal to leave out the door. Life and song will not prevail. 6 crystals complete the ritual. Belcor spoke to past through rod.
All right. That's what suddenly appears in your head.
So I wake up.
And you very distinctly hear your own voice in your head, but not how you normally hear your own voice.
A little more wheezy. A little more...
Yeah, a little bit more wheezy, but also a little bit more detached. Because you can hear your own voice in your own head often. But this one sounds like you didn't think these words.
Okay, so Gottfried's eyes kind of dart around the place, and then he raises his hand. A quill appears therein. Order of the scribes. The book that is always clutched to his chest opens almost by itself to a blank page, and he writes this down very quickly, and then dismisses his quill, and then is lost in thought.
Okay.
What in the name of shit does this mean?
Give me a history check.
Good.
Future check.
You're right. Yeah, it's a 21. No, I beg your pardon, I'm not 15th level anymore. That is a 19.
A 19. 19 is perfectly fine. The word Leifensong is the only one that seems to make any kind of sense to you. This Belk or whatever means to you. Leifensong, however, does. It is an ancient sword designed to defeat the enemies of the kings of Brunei. Buried in a vault somewhere, only a king can wield it, supposedly, according to rumor. And it is of extreme power. Hence why it's buried in a vault and is kept under lock and key.
Okay.
Yeah. The fact that a member of the royal bloodline has to hold it, well...
And then with a coronation, yeah.
Well, there's that, but yeah, it does seem odd.
Could I make some kind of arcana check to... I mean, I presume I would recognize this. It's 25 words long.
Yes.
It's a message arriving in my head, likely to be the message cantrip.
Yes.
Is there anything else I might be able to work out from the appearance of this thing in my head? Like, it sounds like my voice, so... Can I work out, for example, from my own expression, intonation, etc.?
Yes.
Can I make an insight check on myself, basically?
Yes. I was thinking, I think insight is the right call.
Yeah. Okay. Insight +2. Shit. 6.
The part that throws you is that it sounds like you, but it also suspiciously sounds like your father.
Right. Oh. My father. Such a harsh man.
I'm
right.
still alive, you
He says from the corner.
I am 60. You are in your ass still alive. Back to your coffin, old man. Okay.
Oh God, there's two.
They're multiplying.
Yeah. How's it gonna work? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to interrupt this, what I consider a utterly ridiculous ceremony of building, but I'm going to ponder this.
Right. As you are pondering it, there is a commotion on stage as the king has now risen to address the crowds once the heralds have finished reading through the lineages, and the king breaks out into a particularly dull speech about honor and valor and the importance of maintaining order and continuity and recycling. There's strong emphasis on agriculture as well, and everyone starts to wonder where this is going. And as he gets to a point where he is starting to build up his son Alexander as the next heir, there is the faintest of shadows that seems to pass over the morning sun. The weather, as a matter of fact, yes, it's a bit windy, it's overcast, but there is still a fleeting darkness that seems to just ripple across the crowd. And the king turns to gesture to his son, who's standing there looking a little bit bored, a little bit confused, a little bit tired, but who has been told, obviously very sternly by his mother, to stand whilst daddy talks. He then turns back, and as he turns back, his head explodes.
Oh my God!
Yes, there's lots of screaming and panic and terror as the king's corpse slumps to the bottom of the stage, still spraying out royal blood all over the place. Can I have initiative from everybody, please?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Have my vigilant blessing up. Okay.
Dice actually finally rolled well.
I get a 1. Yeah. I win.
Right. So, initiatives are what exactly? Doran.
14.
14, Avery.
12.
Gottfried. Or Georgina.
21.
Yes.
That's all terribly appropriate.
Do it this way every time.
That's the initiative for the campaign.
Yep.
Forever.
Yeah. Set.
Okay, the gods. Okay.
There's us.
The gods.
Gods.
Gosh.
We're level 5, you know.
We're
right?
5th level, mate. Gives a break.
Check. Do you have the replace head spell?
Oh, God.
Will mending work?
Okay. As you are standing there, Georgina, with this expression of shock on your face, the queen, as she's rushing forward, her head explodes. Like, and just brains everywhere. Give me a perception check.
Yeah, okay. Perception is 11.
11. Okay, you see nothing except this spraying of blood everywhere and terror and trauma. Are you doing anything other than acting shock?
Can I see anybody who seems to be well, that was my perception check, wasn't it? I'm gonna run up to them and see if there's if I can help piece them back together or something. Is this what happens?
The viscera. Yeah.
Maybe I've got a bit of king earlobe on me. Do I return this? So yeah, she's going to kind of run closer, but not so close because she doesn't want her head to explode, and maybe that's a head exploding area.
Yes.
So she's wanting to get a closer look.
Very fair. Okay, Doran.
I'm going to shout, Georgie, help me protect the boy! And I'm going to run through the crowd if I can to get as close as possible to the Alexander.
Sure.
The heir.
Pleads the region.
And I think I'll pop already my Spirit Guardians just to get them up and running.
Nice. And Spirit Guardians affects everybody that you
I can
designate.
Right?
Exactly.
Otherwise, this would be
Yes.
very messy.
Otherwise, that would be very messy.
I was about to say, so you're just designating don't affect everybody?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I wouldn't.
You don't have
Okay.
enemies, so
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Okay,
cast
well-
Shield of Faith or something on the kid.
Yeah, I don't have that. But that's okay.
Could you suggest something useful?
So I'm okay. I'm going to run up to the kid if I can reach them a little
Well,
bit.
you're rushing up to the base of the stage. There are some guards that are at the bottom, but they're not looking at you right now.
Yeah. Okay. And if I can, I'll run up to the guards at least, and I'll shout that I'm here to help, and I'll maybe try to do a perception check to see if I can see the origin of this shadow. I mean, a shadow.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the best I can do right now. 17 plus change.
17 plus change. There is, in fact, a shadow that is being cast against the backdrop of the stage. But there's no one casting it.